I'll have just as many kills as you one day, Lauffey.
Unlikely. Your father always keeps you to the boats when we go on raids.
Because of my impeccable skill with the bow!
Oh yes, of course. How could I have forgotten so wise a skill as shooting directly into the water?
You're a horse's arse!
There's no need to be sore, Siegfried. You're at least keeping the rest of us in good spirits.
You find something amusing, old man? Who are you, anyway, to find amusement at my expense? What are you doing in here?
Forgive me, young lord. I did not mean to eavesdrop. I am but a weary old wanderer who travels around the lands. I can only offer my sincerest apologies for the intrusion into your camp. I was only seeking shelter from the approaching storm. Though I would be more worried you may chase me off had I not heard of your lamentable skill with a bow.
I appreciate your concern, sir, but I'm certain my skill will improve with time.
Patience is a good skill to master, especially when one is young.
I wish I could say that was my only aspiration. You see, like many of us, when I was a boy...
Was?
When I was much younger than I am currently, my grandfather used to tell me these tales of the great gods that came long before us. One can only hope to strive to be what they were.
And here we go.
Mock all you like, but there is nothing wrong with wanting to strive for greatness.
Greatness?
Yes, the greatness of the gods. The strength of Thor. The vigilance of Tyr. The cunning of Loki. And most importantly, the wisdom of Odin! I may be a mere man, but I believe every warrior should want to be every bit as honorable as our gods before us.
My apologies, young lord, but I would be remiss if I did not point out that the path to become godly is anything but honorable. In truth, the gods are no less flawed than any man. Every being that lives has the ability to make mistakes.
And what do you know of the old gods, old man?
Of this, I know a great many things, I'm afraid.
But how could you know what our elders do not?
For I have seen many things in this long life of mine. Some of it extraordinary. Some of it heart-wrenching. Especially in consideration of matters involving the gods.
Well, don't keep us in suspense, good sir. You have piqued my interest.
Mine as well. Please, go on.
Perhaps I've overstepped myself. I really shouldn't.
Oh, we insist.
Come on now, don't make the poor boy beg.
Very well. There is indeed a story I can tell. But I must warn you. This tale is not meant for the faint of heart. This tale begins in the realm born so long ago from the world we know now. The world was in fact split into 9 separate realms, with the World Tree, known as Yggdrasil, at its center, connecting all realms and holding them in place with its sturdy branches. Nornir gods. Muspelheim, the realm of fire and chaos. Alfheim, the realm of the brightest elves. Svartalheim, the realm of the dark elves. Nidavellir, the realm of the dwarves. Helheim, the realm of the dead. Midgard, the realm of man. Jotunheim, the realm of the frost giants. But atop it all sat the great home of the Aesir gods, Asgard, a realm only accessible by a bridge made of light and color, known as the Bifrost. There are many myths within today's tales concerning where a warrior will reside once they pass. Some believe it to be an endless feast. Others believe it to be an endless day of constant battle. But the one consistency that remains is that if you're deemed truly a worthy warrior, you will have a place waiting for you within Odin's hall.
How long do we have to wait here? I'm hungry for Aesir blood. We shouldn't have to wait for long. The Aesir are bound to come in here eventually. For now, just take hold of yourself. The reward for our patience will be all the more sweet. Should we even be here? They say High One has eyes everywhere. What are we even doing this for? Do you even seriously have to ask? That old dog that sits upon that throne has spent far too much time gathering war and bloodshed with many a Jotun without fear of reprisal. But Odin's today, once we have his head, we'll return home and present it proudly to our clan. Then all the Jotunar will see that the day of the Aesir has long passed.
Impressive plan, young Jotunar.
Your head is mine, old
Unless, of course, that plan was contingent on surprising me with this attack. I'm afraid you have failed on that front. As there are no secrets kept from me within my realm. Well, shall we continue? Odin has gone by many names and titles over the years, the most notably being the wise, all-knowing All-Father. But Odin was also known in ancient times for more than just his wisdom. He was also known for being one of the most bloodthirsty warriors in all the 9 realms. There was never a time when Odin did not relish the chance to bruise his knuckles or scrape his weapons against another's in battle. He was also not very fond of losing, which made him all the more dangerous against any who opposed him.
My head! You killed them!
Ah, finally awake are you? Good. I was hoping you wouldn't have gone down that easy.
My friends, you slaughtered them.
As surely they would have done to me given the chance. I just simply didn't allow your friends to have that chance. It's not too late, you know. You still have your chance to avenge them.
So, you can just slaughter an unarmed opponent. Where is the honor in that?
Very well. Let us fight with honor, then.
Please, don't do that.
Take pride that you lasted longer than most.
Guards!
Yes, my king. Oh, my lord.
It appears we had surprise visitors laying in wait. Worry not, however, for as you see, I've already done your job for you.
But, my lord,
You're forgiven this time. But be certain this trespass is not repeated. And get to cleaning up this mess.
Yes, All-Father.
Once you have finished, make haste to Heimdall. I need for him to begin an investigation immediately to determine just how something like this was possible. He's supposed to see all that goes on within this realm.
If I may, sire.
My king!
Someone's ears were burning.
Show yourself, you devils! I have no idea how you slipped past me, but this shall not!
Yes, as I was just explaining, I've done the work of the Royal Guard for you today.
I'm so sorry, my liege.
On your feet, warrior! I care not in this moment for apologies. I need answers. How is this even remotely possible?
This is embarrassing to admit, All-Father, but I genuinely do not know.
How is that even remotely possible?
Truthfully, sire, these marauders did not even exist before they arrived in your hall.
What?
I was doing my duty and surveying the lands while guarding the Bifrost. All was quiet. Suddenly, there were intruders residing in your grand throne room. I just don't understand how that could be.
Well, I suggest you find a semblance of understanding quickly. I need to know how this happened and for you to ensure that there are no repeat offenses.
I shall begin my investigation at once.
By the gods before us, why are these still here?
Forgive us, sire. But I was already on my way here to deliver a message when your call was heard.
A message? From whom?
The Nornir, my liege. They have sent word expressing an urgent desire to meet with you.
How soon?
They ride for your hall as we speak.
Very well. Dispose of this refuse cluttering my hall with haste. Then send them in after they arrive. I certainly hope for their sakes they aren't wasting my time. The Nornir, as you may already know, were a trio of sorceresses gifted with the ability of foresight. Many in the realms regarded their gifts with such esteem for the powers they possessed. So much so, that even Odin utilized their gifts in exchange for a temple in the forests of Asgard, where they could practice their magics and rituals. But Odin, more often than not, found himself more frustrated than enlightened with their gifts of prophecy. In truth, the All-Father secretly coveted their abilities for himself, and his great envy of them gave him far more irritation than any troubling words they brought to him. That is, until this day. You were the ones who insisted upon this meeting. I was content with only having one annoyance troubling me this day. It was conveyed to me your message expressed a dire urgency, so be out with it.
Must you always be so callous with your words to us, my lord? After all, have we not always performed as asked when requested?
You witches and your ilk, always playing with words. You never perform as I request. You merely prance around the truth with pretty syllables masquerading as words. Never getting to the bloody point, only hinting at possibilities. I will not repeat myself again. Speak plainly or not at all.
We have come to you with grave tidings, All-Father.
As we speak, the timeline to Ragnarok has begun to move ahead.
But how could that be? Ragnarok is only to begin once Fimbulwinter has ended. First my hall is invaded, and now you tell me this!
The recent events you speak of have altered the course of Fimbulwinter, causing it to loom ever closer.
I ask again, how is that possible?
Time is not set into stone. All that is, was, or will be is ever shifting and flowing like the sands at the edge of the shore. Nothing remains constant.
All but my death, you mean?
In all our visions, your death has always remained constant. Only its cause was surrounded by a haze of fog clouding over the events. The recent changes have finally given us a clearer picture.
What have you witnessed?
At Ragnarok,
All things must end, and everything will perish. Fire shall rage, and Asgard will burn. Sun and moon shall be devoured, and the realms shall flood with chaos and death. In these final moments, the All-Father shall stand solemn and alone. He will face his final battle,
and perish at the malicious fangs of the great wolf,
known only as Fenrir. He shall hear the oncoming howl of his end, and rush to meet it.
So the instrument of my death has a name.
Fenrir's power will rise to the point that no other will be their rival. He could very well be the end of all Aesir if he desired.
Yet he only hungers for my blood? How will I know when this Fenrir is approaching?
You will not hear his great howl until the end begins. But it has been seen that you shall both meet before Ragnarok. You shall know him once you have experienced true pain. You will not know him by his appearance, but you will know the pain that heralds his arrival. The pain that shall take many forms, as well as many faces. A betrayal from those you care for. Once you know his name, all shall be revealed.
You can tell me all that, but not how I can change my fate?
Fate, mighty Odin, is also ever-changing. There is no clear path. We are merely scribes to the visions of the universe, only reading to you what we have seen, not what we will see.
So I am just to wait, twiddling my thumbs, until this beast deigns to show himself and befall me with tragedy.
It is shown that many tragedies will befall this kingdom, but the cause is yet unclear.
Unclear? You just said Fenrir would bring great pain upon me. Is he not the cause?
Do not misunderstand our words, my liege. Fenrir is the effect of tragedy, not the ailment. It has been seen that a great evil will bring about the fall of the Aesir. However, Fenrir is merely what heralds the end.
Great evil? Powerful creatures thirsting for my end. What am I supposed to prepare myself for? Can't you even give me any kind of straight answer?
This is what we have seen, but our knowledge is not omnipresent. Much like the circumstances of your fate, we can only see what is.
I've heard enough! You speak of urgency by demanding this meeting, but all your prattling of prophecy is disguised by riddles and nonsense! I have entertained these triflings long enough. Be gone from my presence!
Do not be so flippant as to not take heed to our warnings, All-Father.
I said out!
Then we hope you remain well, King of the Aesir.
Unbelievable. The very idea of some powerful wolf having the strength enough to overpower me is ludicrous. Me! Of all the Aesir! Do these sorceresses think me a fool? Or would I be more the fool to at least not heed them in some regard? Guard!
My king.
I want for you and your men to gather a group of hunters and head out into the forests. By first light, you are instructed to hunt every single wolf you can find.
Yes, sire.
I also need you to gather our messengers. After the annoyances of unwanted visitors, I find myself wanting more pleasant company. Instruct the messengers they are to send invitations to all the gods, both Aesir and Vanir, as well as all the lords and vassals who serve under us.
Of course, my king. Not meaning to question you, sire, but all are to be invited. Even Lady Hel?
Perhaps all but a few gods in attendance. I will write a list of those to be invited. By week's end, I want to see the banquet hall teeming with life as we throw one of our greatest feasts the realm has ever seen.
With pleasure, Your Majesty.
A betrayal by those you care for, eh? I'll certainly show those harpies what I think of their perceived notions of fate. Determined to prove the paths of fate could be changed, Odin prepared the hall for a feast the likes of Asgard had not seen in many a winter. Although beguiled and clearly perturbed by the unclear visions of the Nornir, once word had spread of the attack within the hall, Odin would need to save face by showing Asgard's walls were as secure as they have always been, and his might without question. Odin flaunted his power and wealth excessively for the feast in preparation of the many guests they would be receiving, as no one who was anyone would dare turn away such a lavish invitation. The All-Father invited those he trusted most to attend, but also many of those who serve his kingdom as not to arouse suspicion. If there was to be a betrayal, he absolutely wanted to see it coming. More than determined, Odin was driven to prove he's still in control of his own destiny. Oh, Sif! What adventures you managed to find yourself in. It seems the forests of Vanaheim are not without their perils.
Well, they do at least make for amusing tales to captivate my dear king and father-in-law.
And captivate me they do. But not even half as much as the company you provide. How I have missed our time speaking together.
You flatter me, sire. In truth, it has not been so long since our last communion, but I am honored all the same. All-Father, a request if I may.
Of course, my dear.
I know eventually I must return to the woods and my people. But I would be remiss if I did not take this chance to ask if you would accompany me on one of my future hunts. I think I have taken enough advantage of your hospitality over the years, and should repay it with my own.
Repayment? From you? No, think nothing of it. Sure, I could think of several ways for you to repay me, but your family. My son may desert you, for his duties here can take him away for quite some time. But we would never think for an instant to leave you isolated. It is a joy to have you, my lady. Besides, if anyone knows the burden and loneliness that comes with ruling a kingdom, it would be me.
You honor me.
Your offer does sound delightful, though. It has been many a winter since I had a great hunt.
Nothing like the feeling of matching yourself with the wilds.
The very essence of survival raising the adrenaline inside your veins, making the thrill of the hunt all the more enticing as you shed your decency for the comfort of the forest, becoming more animal than man in the heat of the moment, never needing a moment's rest as you are fueled by your passion and instinct.
Oh, Odin.
Father, I apologize for interrupting, but I have been looking for Sif.
Thor! There you are! Sif has been looking all over for you.
She was?
Yes, indeed! It has been quite some time since she's seen you, but the crowd was so intense that I advised her to wait by my side for now. I told her not to worry, as it was only a matter of time before we could see you stumbling over. I've had her regaling me with her latest exploits to pass time.
Indeed?
Indeed. I've really missed you, darling. Luckily, I have not bored your father with my stories.
Bored? Perish the thought! I am absolutely captivated.
Well then, perhaps you would like to hear about my latest adventures as well.
That sounds delightful, but perhaps later, son.
Are you certain? I've had much success on my diplomatic travels to the Utgard fortress, and would love to...
Yes, so much success I find Jotuns within my realm with weapons at the ready, rather than fealty. Bravo, Lord of Thunder. Bravo indeed. Now, my lady, I must know what happened when your warriors noticed the pig you had caught was now missing.
Darling, why don't you go enjoy yourself at the feasting table and make mirth with other guests?
But I thought you had been waiting to see me.
I have been, but I can't simply just leave your poor father wondering how this tale ends. How rude would that be after the kindness he's shown me? I shall be along as soon as I have either finished or tired your father with my stories.
If that's the case, then it may be a while, son. Your wife is quite the gifted storyteller.
Oh, I see. All right then, I shall see you later on, perhaps.
Don't strain your eyes so intently, friend.
Lord Tyr.
It's so good to see you, dear Heimdall. It's been too long.
I wish I could say the same, but I often checked on you while you were gone to ensure you were still safe.
I expect nothing less. Good to know I had a guardian watching over me.
You've come for the feast?
Indeed. I thought it would be the perfect excuse to return after being gone for so long. Will you not be in attendance?
Unfortunately, no. I'm tasked with a great responsibility from the High One that demands a result sooner rather than later.
I understand. Is that what I saw troubling you when I arrived? Are you unable to tell me more at this time?
By will of the All-Father.
Say no more, then. I understand completely. You'll solve whatever the All-Father has asked of you. Of that, I have no doubt.
Lord Tyr? I can at least tell you that we recently had a small Jotunar invasion of the kingdom. Do be careful.
I shall indeed. You try to enjoy your night.
Enjoy the festivities! Welcome home, my lord.
With that sour look on your face, I would almost have guessed someone just informed you the meat had run out.
Keep your quips to yourself. I am in no mood for your jests, trickster.
But you do look to be in the mood for a sympathetic ear. Tell me what troubles you, friend.
I am not troubled. The mead has not, in fact, run out. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Don't tell me the mighty Thunder-Bearer is afraid to admit his insecurities.
I am insecure of nothing. Besides, why would you, of all people, care to hear about my troubles?
Of all the nerve to ask! We were practically raised as brothers, no matter our differences or our rivalries. I have always held care for you in my heart.
Truly?
Honest and truly. Now, will you be out with it, or would you have me beg?
It feels as though nothing I do matters to Father. I do whatever I can to try and please him, but no matter my conquests, he remains unfazed. I conquer villages and armies in his name. He decides he wants to try a more peaceful approach that will cause less insurrection in the future. I go on many diplomatic meetings to other kingdoms and fortresses to gain alliances, and he mocks and belittles me in front of my wife for forces outside of my control. But it doesn't seem to be too difficult to please him. He's positively giddy over Sif's adventures, no matter the fact that she hasn't done anything better to bring more prosperity to our realm. But I guess it shouldn't be too surprising, given the amount of time she's spent here during my travels. She's clearly had more time to find a connection with him, whereas I'm always too far away to ever really know what he wants.
You need not be so down, my friend. The All-Father has always been very difficult to appease. It is just the way he is. You've known this since we were children.
I suppose you're right. I guess I was just hoping as I grew, I might better understand him, or that he would allow me to try.
maybe I'm just hoping for too much.
It isn't too much for a son to want their father's love and acceptance. Personally, I believe he does respect you. He just may not know how to properly demonstrate it.
You think so?
Your father has always kept himself guarded. That comes with ruling a kingdom, I suppose. I imagine that being his son also comes with certain expectations that he tries to hold you to. You should not take every callous word he says with such firmness.
I suppose you're right. I shouldn't weigh myself down with such heavy thoughts. Thank you, brother.
Never you mind thanking me, and enough of this woeful speech. This is supposed to be a joyful gathering. So, enjoy yourself. And perhaps we shall drink ourselves silly later on.
I shall hold you to that.
It has been too long, Javi.
Yes, it certainly has been a while. So much so that you may be the only one who still refers to me as Avi.
Consider it a term of endearment from one who has known you for so long. I do hope I haven't interrupted something important.
No, of course not. Thank you for your indulgence, but I believe it's time I went to search for wherever Thor headed off to.
I believe, last I saw, he was headed to the mead tankards.
Of course. If you would excuse me.
Lady Sif?
Loki?
Before you run off, I must say, you look positively radiant this evening. Have you, done something different with your hair?
Out of my way, serpent.
Oh, you can't possibly still be upset over that. The hair grew back, did it not?
Must you antagonize everyone?
Only if it amuses me.
I trust your interject for this audience was more than just to irritate my guests.
Indeed, for I brought you a gift.
A gift? Oh, Loki, you didn't need to do this.
As we said, it has been a long time, Javi. I wanted to show my gratitude for the invitation. Think of it as a symbol of our unity and friendship, my king.
It is exquisite craftsmanship. A truly wonderful token of your affection. I shall treasure it always.
I will admit, though, the gift was not the only reason for my meddling. Queen Freyja has been shooting death glances your way for the past hour. I thought it prudent to interrupt before she decided to come over and extricate Lady Sif herself.
Good call on that. I thought I had been feeling eyes watching me.
Perhaps I spoke too soon.
Loki.
My queen?
How are you, my darling?
Very pleased to be home, and in good company. In fact, I was just telling
Not
Javi...
to be rude, my dear, but would you mind if I had a moment to speak with my husband? Privately?
Of course. I suppose it's time I found others to make merry with?
Enjoy yourself.
Is something troubling you, my queen?
Perhaps it would behoove you to spend time with our other guests, rather than continue your usual habit of fawning over the goddess of the hunt.
Fawning?
I thought drooling would be too harsh.
Is that impertinence I detect on your tone, my queen?
Oh, not at all, my king. Merely advising that with all the loyal subjects that have come to renew their fealty to you, it would not be wise to ignore them while instead flirting so disgracefully with your son's bride. It does not provide the best impression of this kingdom, or its ruler.
But of course, my queen. I understand perfectly.
Splendid. And also, please take more interest in what Thor has to say. You send him away so frequently, and all he desires in return is some of his father's pride. Is that so wrong? Oh, my. If you'll excuse me.
Take heed, Freyja. For a moment, your tone gave the impression that you were attempting to make demands of me. As you said, you were merely advising, and for that you have my thanks. But I hope I need not remind you of how utterly foolish that would be.
I would never insist on believing I could tell you what to do, Odin. We both know how futile that would be.
Tyr, my brother in arms!
Oh, it has been many a winter, old friend.
Too many winters, you old travel-ridden dog! When time permits, you must tell me all of what has happened since last we spoke. I expect no details to be spared.
With pleasure, Odin, with pleasure. But tell me, how have you been? I heard about the recent unpleasantness on my way into the realm.
Worry not on the trivialities. It was merely a small bother that I handled as I handle everything else.
Well, that was never in doubt, old friend.
What do you find so amusing?
A passing thought, All-Father. That as much that I have seen has changed. It seems certain things still remain the same.
Well, I'm not the only one. It has been 3 winters since last we saw each other, and the only difference I can discern from you is your clothing.
Yes, my studies during my travels have often taken me to some of the frostier regions within the realms. But I can say with great certainty that many of my studies have yielded grand results.
Well then, I suggest a toast to the fruits of your labors.
And to your kindness and continued success. May they never run dry.
Unfortunately, I must be off now. The Queen has made it very evident it is important that I mingle with our other contributors. An unfortunate burden I must bear as the host.
But there are none other who shoulder it so elegantly.
Please do enjoy yourself, my lord. It makes my heart sing to see you home again inside these halls. We shall continue catching up later.
Upon my honor.
Watch where you're standing! Oh, my Lord Justice Bringer. I'm so sorry I did not realize.
Calm yourself, Lord of Thunder. I'd apologize, as you are right. I should not have been so careless as to just loiter about with no care.
Well, I do still apologize as well. Perhaps I should have been more mindful of where I was going.
It's good to see you, my boy. How have you been? I've heard good things from what word I had received during my travels through Jotunheim on your exploits with an Utgard.
Yes, actually. It was very tense at first, given our history, but the current Jotnar ruler was surprisingly very agreeable to the opportunity of sitting down and discussing a peaceful coexistence. In fact, there were more than a few successful diplomatic meetings I attended where I... Never mind. You probably don't want to hear about this.
No, I absolutely want to hear more.
You would?
Please, I find this fascinating. I want to hear any detail you wish to share, and perhaps I could offer any counsel you might require for your future endeavors.
That sounds delightful, actually.
But let us not speak of politics on an empty stomach. I am quite famished after my travels. Accompany me to the feasting table.
I would be honored.
Yes, thank you for coming tonight. I will have to give thought to your generous offer. Please, do enjoy yourselves.
Are you all right, Father?
Oh, my sons, I am perfectly all right. That particular guest had an all too familiar and irritating motive during our conversation.
What did he want?
The usual request that aspiring landowners all demand. That I make him a lord with a sizable increase to their already abundant land ownings. Then they attempt to offer up their oldest daughter as tribute to the arrangement.
Was she at least comely?
It matters not. Offers like that hold no interest to me. If there were anything or anyone I desired, I would prefer to pursue them of my own accord. On a more pleasant topic, are you boys enjoying the festivities?
We would be enjoying them more if we knew you were enjoying yourself as well. Even Hodr can see how frustrated you are.
Ah, my sweet boy. I have been enjoying myself just fine. If I seem frustrated, it is only that your mother has insisted that I mingle further with our attendants, and some of them are not the liveliest bunch.
Are you certain that that's all that troubles you?
Any other troubles are nothing you need to concern yourself with.
Well, in that case, would you like to hear a joke?
A joke?
One of the only things the humans were able to teach him on Midgard. It wasn't the only thing they taught me. Just my favorite.
All right. Let's hear it.
What did the hunter ask the blind deer?
I can't say that I know.
Are you certain you can't figure it out?
Fairly certain.
Really? You have no idea?
Oh, that was awful.
I told you. Oh, it is not. It is quite hysterical.
Well, I'm glad your time in Midgard was certainly calming to your temperament. Though I fear that time spent has dulled your quality of humor.
It made you smile. That's all I really wanted.
My beautiful boy, always shining your light on those in need. Thank you, son. I definitely needed that dealing with this lot.
Perhaps we could think of something to liven up the place.
I seriously doubt anything short of a major tragedy would get these dullards moving.
Oh, I don't think we would need something so severe. We just need something that will get them excited and more focused on making merry rather than troubling you. I've got it! Father, we could always go and rile up the guests with a fun game. A game could work.
What game did you have in mind?
Well, there is one I know that certainly always wins over the crowds. Oh, you aren't seriously considering that. Why not? Name me one time it hasn't worked wonders on even the deadest of company.
Son, I don't think that will be necessary. We can always plan something else.
Why bother when this one is remarkably simple? We leveled these fine folk with an impossible challenge. Try to pierce my flesh with anything they can find. If they win, then you'll make them lords and give them whatever land they desire. I keep them entertained, and they don't keep begging to you like dogs at the supper table.
I don't know.
Father, there's one other thing I learned with the humans, besides their jokes. I learned that no matter how impossible it might seem, they won't stop attempting whatever task gets them closer to the gods.
All right.
Excellent. Let us be off to gather the revelers.
After you, my boy.
But, Father, what help do you require of me?
Son, why don't you find your way to your mother and see what she's up to? You may need to save her from being bored to death.
Oh, I see. I was just thinking maybe I could help you more with the entertainment.
My dear boy, you are helping. You're ensuring your mother has a fun evening as well. Because, let me tell you something, both of you. If the queen of the castle is unhappy, then everyone shall be very unhappy. Do you understand?
I suppose so.
That's my boy. Now, onward, light bearer. We have a party to save.
How do I look?
Like every other Asgardian. Very unamusing.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing.
I know you don't like this, but I need you here.
So you said, but I still think this could end up going very poorly.
Nothing is going to go wrong so long as you stick to the plan.
Maybe not for you, but it could go very wrong for me.
Remember, this is a temporary situation for only one night.
I just don't like being dishonest. Especially after everything Mother has told me about your king.
Never you mind the king or your mother's tales. She was not around for most of the events she cites. As for the Allfather, let me worry about him for now. All you have to do in the meantime is keep a low profile. Can you do that for me? I promise you. One day you will no longer have to hide who you are.
We need sharp objects! Anything and everything that could possibly pierce flesh. We need as many as you can muster. Up to it! Time is of the essence!
Well, I suppose I should get to work.
Mother!
I'm over here, darling. Just follow my voice.
Ah, I know. I could smell your perfume from across the room. It's all just so loud in here.
Unfortunately, it's a pity it's not a more joyful noise. Many of our attendants would rather hear themselves speak before letting anyone else get a word in edgewise. But is that all that seems to be on your mind? You appear to be bothered.
Bothered? I'm not bothered at all.
Come now, lamb. You may be unable to see, but my eyes can clearly tell you're perturbed. What is the matter?
Father and Baldur have an idea to help liven up the event, but Father did not ask for me to be involved.
I see. Did you want to be involved?
Well, of course. I wanted to be a part of the competition and join in with everyone.
Did you tell that to your father?
Well, no, but I...
My sweet love, you will never be able to get anything accomplished by waiting to be invited. You can't hide within your darkness and just allow things to be. You need to be more insistent.
I feel as though Father does not really wish for me to be a part of many things. I feel as though he may look down on me because of...
That isn't even true in the slightest. Your father loves you all very much. He doesn't think of you any less because of your mild disability.
Yes, Mother.
Dearest, there's no reason you can't enjoy yourself as the others are. If you want to join them, then go on.
I don't know. Father asked for me to come keep you company, and I mean, all of them seem to be...
I will be fine on my own. Nothing would make me happier than to see you stepping out of your shadows, even if it's only just a bit.
Are you sure? Because I'm clearly not.
Clearly. Hodr, your father is the type of man who respects assertiveness. If you make it very apparent that you wish to be involved, he won't possibly be able to refuse you.
You're right, Mother. Although, perhaps I should wait just a little bit before asserting myself in. Would that be all right?
Whatever makes you feel more comfortable, my dear.
Lady Freyja.
Queen Freyja, my lady.
Oh yes, do forgive me, my queen. I would never attempt to offend.
Is that right? Is that what you call ignoring your husband and avoiding him at all costs this evening?
I have no idea what you mean.
Oh, then forgive me then. Perhaps my eyes that have never deceived me are merely playing tricks.
Well, you are getting older, my queen. Some delusion is to be expected.
You're one to talk of delusion.
What was that, your majesty?
Was there something you wanted, dear?
Only to give my gratitude to you for inviting me here to...
I invited my son. You just happened to already be here.
Yes, well, all the same. I give you thanks. This is truly a wonderful event. I confess that I have found myself hoping it doesn't end.
I suppose you would.
Again, I beg your pardon.
I am merely implying that it isn't a great surprise that you are in no dire hurry for this evening to end, since you're usually only here while your husband is away, and given his return, you aren't exactly looking forward to going back to the usual conditions to which you seem to be accustomed.
Funny. The king doesn't seem to be as bothered by my usual accoutrements as the way it seems to be inconveniencing you, my queen.
Do be careful, Lady of the Wood. You wouldn't wish to appear to be giving an impression of impropriety to your matron. Indeed, I would heed caution. This is one hunt that you will not walk away from happily. But please enjoy your evening, no matter how fleeting it might be.
Thank you, my queen. There you are, my darling. Let us take a walk around the room. It's been a while since we had a moment just to ourselves, and I find the hour from standing in one place to be very stifling.
Oh, yes, of course. I suppose I shall see you later on, Mother.
My lady, might I say that you appear to outshine even the brightest of all the ornations within this hall.
Oh dear, stop, lest you have me giggling like a schoolgirl.
Well, you are quite ravishing this evening.
When one is holding such an event, even the host must be a decoration.
Wise words from truly the most noble of all hosts.
I don't feel all that noble. I feel like a bloody trinket. But it's so good to see you here, Tyr. We all have missed you.
As I have missed all of you and this place. But I mustn't take up too much of your valuable time.
You cannot take what is freely given.
Then I hope to have this opportunity again, very soon. Your Majesty.
You there, girl. I could not help but notice you watching my oldest.
My deepest apologies, my queen. I merely...
It's all right, dear. I'm not cross with you. Simply curious. Do you fancy him?
Oh, no. No, my queen, it's nothing like that. I'm honestly quite fascinated by him. Is it true that he is invulnerable to all mortal pains?
Do you doubt it? You are more than welcome to try your luck and see for yourself.
Well, to be honest with you, Your Highness, I wasn't certain if it was indeed true, or just a trick played with enchanted weaponry, made to give the illusion of his rumored ability.
My! Aren't you remarkably clever for your station?
I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. I did not mean to overstep.
No, my dear, you misunderstand. I was impressed both by your perceptions as well as your cleverness.
I will still apologize for the same. But honestly, my queen, you can hardly blame someone like myself for being so awestruck by him.
Oh?
A beautiful being whose very presence shines like the sun and is untouchable. It is quite the sort of thing many like myself wish to aspire to. Anything I could possibly learn would only put me one step closer to such greatness.
In truth, there is an enchantment at work. Not of Baldur's choice, but rather mine.
I'm afraid I don't follow?
Tell me, do you have children? Then as a parent, I'm certain you'll understand. When my Baldur was born, he was so beautiful, pure, and perfect. As his mother, I could not bear the thought of him being hurt or harmed by anything within this or any realm.
What did you do?
Well, I was quite the sorceress in my youth, and it was little more than child's play to devise a spell that would suit my needs. This particular spell would ask all things, living and not, to never bring any harm to my boy.
But is it really that simple? All things just aren't allowed to harm the prince?
Well, unfortunately, there was only one thing I was unable to enchant. Mistletoe, I'm afraid. It was far too young to understand my spell's request.
But as a parent, don't you worry he might encounter this somewhere someday? The realms are all quite large and filled with dangers of all kinds.
That is what it means to be a parent, I'm afraid. Always hoping you've done the best you could and that they will be okay on their own. It doesn't make it any easier.
Are we out of weapons already? Servants! Bring us more items for our contenders to test their strength with at once! All items are welcome!
Indeed. Sometimes it is all you can hope for.
Hodr, my dear old friend.
Is that you, Loki?
It is. You're looking well. It has been a while since last I saw you, and even longer since last you saw me. But I couldn't help but notice the morose expression on your face. Do tell me what has gotten you so glum.
Does everything that comes out of your mouth have to always sound like some sneering comment?
Alas, it is both my gift and my curse. But don't change the subject.
I want to join in on the games, but I feel as though my father won't allow me to.
You won't know until you try.
My mother said something similar. She said if I assert myself, then father won't possibly be able to deny me.
Your mother is a wise woman. So, what's stopping you?
I just keep thinking it won't be enough to convince him to allow me to join.
Well, perhaps you need a bit more of an edge in your favor?
Like what?
Something like a weapon!
You're certain that's all it will take?
Once you assert yourself into the games proudly holding a weapon, the Allfather won't possibly be able to refuse you. You there, come hither. None of these will do. You, boy, come here a moment.
Me, my lord?
Yes, let me see your wares.
They are just branches found from outside the kingdom's walls, as I was requested to fetch. I certainly hope everything is to your liking.
I hope none of you messed with my garden.
Here, this is perfect.
You're certain this is the perfect weapon? It doesn't feel very powerful.
Psst, shows what you know. This is a fine, sturdy branch suitable enough for any warrior to wield. It's also quite sharp. But I suppose you're right. It could use something more. Hand me your walking stick. There, now you have a mighty spear.
Loki, I don't know what to say.
Then say nothing at all and get over there, mighty warrior.
Do you not wish to participate?
I am perfectly content watching you from here. Now go on and have your fun.
What have you got there, son?
A spear, father.
A spear? What for?
I wish to participate in the games, father.
You want to? Oh, surely, my boy. This sort of thing is beneath you.
It surely isn't. I want to join in on the fun.
But this could be dangerous.
I'll be fine, father, please. Come on, father. Let him join in. It'll be fun.
Are you so certain?
What's the worst that could happen? It's not as though I'm fragile.
It's not you I'm worried about.
You don't need to worry about me either. I'm not some invalid.
I'm your father. It's my job to worry. But very well then. If joining in is what you wish, then we absolutely shall deliver! I shall go get my second wind while you boys roughhouse.
All right, brother. Let me have it. Just follow my voice. Oops! You missed! Try again. Oh, what are you, blind? I'm right over here. Joke all you like. You make your words ever sweeter when I best you. Oh, you've played a mighty good game. But I feel I got you that time, brother. Brother? Brother, is everything all right? Oh my god! Baldur! Baldur, no, please! Stay with me, brother. Please, stay with me. Father! Father, please.
What have you done? What have you done? Baldur, my beautiful boy. Please, say something.
Father, I don't... I can't...
Baldur, is he...
Baldur, please, open your eyes. I'm begging you. Please.
Odin's Hall stars Oliver Smith as the Old Man and Odin. Willa Snowbender as Freyja in Nornir 1. Chris Aireart as Tyr. S.J. Harris as Loki. Cliff Jones as Thor. Noelle Pennison as Lady Sif in Nornir 3. Wyatt West as Siegfried. Tim Hotston as Lauffey. Brian Barnshaw as Fenrir. Colima Acevedo as Nornir 2. Andrea Corte as Heimdall. And Wyatt Bowden as Baldur and Hodr. Featuring additional voices by Gibby Audio, Acevedo, and Vlasto Peyitch. Story written and directed by Wyatt Bowden. Music scored by Pavel Grebstov. Audio engineered by Gibby Audio. Editing by Joseph E.W. Series art by Evan Collin. Series produced by CBW Productions.